If you've ever wondered what a $1 million budget can actually get you in Los Angeles, this video might surprise you. Because depending on the neighborhood, $1 million can get you very different properties. Let's get into it. This video compares recently sold properties around the same price point so that you can understand what you could get here as a buyer. We chose different corners of Los Angeles so that you can understand their different personalities. It's not about what's best or worst, it's just about the trade-offs of lifestyle and homeownership. We're going to talk about Studio City, Echo Park, and Venice. So what I've done is I have looked up in the last 3 months properties that have sold around $1 million in all three areas. To my surprise, there were only 7 properties in the last 3 months that came up. So we're going to go through those today. So let's start with Studio City. Studio City is more of a residential feel. If you want a deeper dive into this neighborhood, go ahead and check out this other video I did explaining way more about Studio City. This is a great community. You have more of a residential feel. Lots to do here. Great restaurants, coffee culture. You have Sushi Row, a lot of things that attract people to this area. So this house that we're looking at that sold for $1,050,000 actually sold a bit below asking, 12.5% below, and it was on the market 131 days. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath with about 1,400 square feet of living space on a 6,500 square foot lot. Looking through these pictures, this house is right up against the mountain in Studio City. So most of that lot size, the 6,500, is probably vertical versus flat, which makes it a little less desirable. It likely didn't really have a backyard, so we'll look through and see. But this property, it's an okay condition. It's not super modern or updated, not a problem. That's kind of what we would expect for $1 million in Studio City. You can see that there's like a blue bathroom tile, which usually hints that hasn't been redone since the 70s or 80s. If you see blue, pink, yellow tile, sometimes green as well. But it looks like it's in good condition. There's a couple things looking, at the floor. But yeah, it is a little bit older. You can see that there is a little bit of a backyard, but really not much space. And likely the lot size actually goes up the hill. So the house is a pink. It's like a bright pink. And you can see in the notes that there was a huge price improvement. So when a property is on for even more than 90 days in LA, I'd say that usually the price can be maybe not quite right. But yeah, so this is actually a pretty decent property. You're near the Silver Triangle. Let me actually open this up and show you the map. So the Silver Triangle is right over here. It's a very desirable area in Studio City. And this is just off the triangle. It is up a slight hill, just because I know this area very well. And so the road is more narrow. You kind of have different trade-offs here, but you are close to Ventura Boulevard. You can walk over to Rocco's Tavern, very popular spot. And there's a lot to do here. So looking at this on the map, location-wise, being south of Ventura is more desirable. So even being able to find something that is around $1 million in price is pretty awesome. Yeah, so you can see that this street is a little bit more narrow. This maybe has been on for sale a lot recently. And then there are stairs up to the front door. So it's not the most, the curb appeal isn't 100%. I'm sure if they upgraded the house in general, this would look a lot better. It was listed at $1.2 million and then closed at $1,050,000. So that goes to show the listing price isn't always exactly what it will sell for. And especially since it was on for 131 days, that's kind of, how it goes. The person that bought this house probably is open to fixing it and updating it because it probably is move-in ready and could be fixed over time, but it does look like it needs a little bit of work. So let's get into Echo Park, which offers a creative urban lifestyle with strong demand. Echo Park is in a very creative community and is close to downtown, close to Dodger Stadium. It's on the east side of Los Angeles, and you'll find a lot of people that want to live there. A lot of creatives, entrepreneurs, actors, singers. It's kind of the vibe of Echo Park. So getting into it, we're going to be looking at this house that sold for exactly $1 million. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath house. It's about just over 1,600 square feet. The lot size is 3,400. and it was on the market for 90 days. Looking through, this is actually, I mean, it's very cute. It has, I think they did a really good job staging it to help show off what it can handle. The kitchen, it maybe could be updated. There's like red, it's like painted red, countertops are red, a little funky. You have bright blues in the house as well. They probably considered this a bedroom, but it does look more like a loft space. In Echo Park, you're gonna get really funky and cool properties. So this doesn't surprise me at all. It has really nice views, which is great. Not much of a backyard, similar to the Studio City house. It is kind of going up a hill over here. And so you have like terraces in the back instead of a backyard, but it looks like they've kind of made it look cute. So that's nice. It looks like you have a great additional space here with like a wet bar, wine fridge, all that kind of stuff. And it's like near the laundry area, which is kind of funny. So it's updated, but maybe not to modern standards. It just depends on who you are. There are carpets in the bedrooms as well. The person who bought this place, it definitely is livable. You could move in no problem, but you might down the line want to upgrade things just for a bit of a more updated taste. And I would guess a buyer probably would repaint all the walls here because the walls are blue and gray and red, and it's kind of funky and fun as well. Oh, here's the floor plan. I love looking at this. So it does have a garage. Studio City House had one as well. And you have 3 different levels, so lots of stairs. Any property, of course, that's on a hillside is going to be multiple levels as well. So let's look at the map. So we are wedged here between 2 freeways, which isn't the most desirable for a lot of people. But in my opinion, if it's quiet in the property and you don't mind a little white noise when you're outside, a freeway isn't the worst thing to live next to. So the view is looking away from the freeway, but you're still going to be able to hear that sound. So that is a trade-off of buying, and is probably why it sold around this 1 million. People in this area want something that is cute and fun like this house is, but because of its location by the freeway, that's the biggest trade-off that I can see right now. We'll look at the street view as well. So street view, we are on a pretty narrow street. The houses are all pretty vertical. And yeah, just in terms of like running to the grocery store or going for a walk, it is a little places, but you do have, you know, a couple things nearby that can be helpful as well. Yeah, so it was last sold in 2011 for 380, and then they listed it about 6 months ago for $1,099,000, and it closed at $1 million. So 9% below asking, with that 90 days on market. Now getting into Venice, which is all about coastal lifestyle. The trade-offs here are typically that you have a smaller property, just because you have closer access to the beach and other fun things to do. If you want to see a deeper dive on Venice, I'm linking our Venice neighborhood guide in this video as well. So now we're going to look at a house that sold for $1,050,000. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. With just under 1,200 square feet of living space. So this is the smallest one we've seen yet. And the lot size is about 3,700 square feet. This was on the market for 80 days. And it looks like a cute beach bungalow, which I love. And even to see a beach bungalow sell for just over $1 million is a little bit of a surprise to me. So let's take a look and see what's going on with this one. So yeah, it looks really cute from the outside. Okay, jumping in. Definitely looks a little bit older. You have hardwood floors, which is great. Bathroom's a little bit older. At least it's like neutral tones, which is nice. You can see that this hardwood in this bedroom, they changed out. This to me looks more like a vinyl or a laminate. Hard to tell from the pictures, but good to know. Kitchen's a little bit older, but super spacious. It looks like they have the stove oven and the dishwasher next to each other, which is kind of funny. A lot of Venice properties like don't have room for a dishwasher. Most of them don't have central AC and heat. So you're also going to be missing those types of things. If I had to guess, this house probably also only has single pane windows, which is not as helpful for insulation and noise, but not a big problem. You could always change those out. They did a really good job of making this house look very clean, and you can see like a floor heater in here, which is great. You do have a nice outdoor deck, small little backyard space. But yeah, it looks like a little guest house actually. You can see, so here's that garage, and this must be the cottage here. But yeah, as you can see, it's small, and you have in Venice very common. You have like alley access on one side that has access to the parking. And then the front of the house is usually, it's either a walk street, the canals, or the street is just very small. So that those alleys are quite important in Venice. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a very small home. They're saying 3 bedrooms, but what they really mean is 2 bedrooms in the main house with 1 bathroom, and then 1 bedroom in the back house with 1 bathroom. So you are getting a pretty small property. Let's go to the map and take a look. So this is actually, in my opinion, a great part of Venice. You can see we're very close to Abbot Kinney right here. So this is Abbot Kinney Boulevard. You have the canals here and the beach here. And this home is located right here. It's southwest of Lincoln Boulevard. Lincoln Boulevard is kind of like your main street. Comparing it to Studio City, it's like the Ventura Boulevard, Venice. So great property location, which we know is actually most important. So to find something even in this neighborhood at around $1 million is a great deal. So the front is super cute. You have the palm trees. We love it. And then, yeah, in my opinion, that back guest house is likely not permitted, but this is a great property. It took 80 days to sell. Let's look at what they listed it at originally. They started it listed around 1.4 million and they ended up closing at $1,050,000. So that's a great deal. Excited for the person that bought this. It looks like it has a lot of potential and is in such a great area. So while we're in Venice, I actually came across another property that I think is really cool to compare side by side with all the properties we've talked about so far. So I actually came across this condo that sold in Venice for $1,050,000, the same price as the house we just went over. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 970 square feet of living space. It does have an HOA fee of a monthly $516. And this sold in 15 days. So that means that it pretty much was aligned with what they probably had it listed at. This is in a building called Chateau des Roses, which is like a historical cultural monument in Venice. So let's take a look. It's a really cute building. I love the outside. It's a white building with blue window frames, which is super cute. Wow. The inside of this is pretty immaculate. They've either staged it or the seller lives with beautiful furniture, showing off all the spaces. This, in my opinion, actually looks bigger. It looks bigger than the other property that we looked at, but is definitely smaller. Kitchen is really cute. It's more modern and updated. It is quite small. You do have like an alley. You can see like an alley kitchen. You can see that it was old school, but they updated this. Like this is updated very nicely. The bedrooms are really cute. You have great lighting. You can tell by these photos. Yeah, I love the updates. And the bathrooms are very nicely done. The bedrooms look like they're on the smaller side. Closets are older, you know, a bit older school, meaning that you can kind of walk into them. You do have a little bit of an outdoor space, not huge, but it's very sweet and very cute. Yeah, and let's look at the map so you can get a good idea of the location of this. So this one's actually closer to the beach. Abbot Kinney is right over here. So it's a little bit more west, which is awesome. Great location. Being on Rose Avenue is actually one of the best places, in my opinion, that you can be in Venice. So this is right on Rose Avenue. Great restaurants, coffee shops. People are so friendly here, and you can just walk straight down Rose to get to Venice, and like, you know, the waterfront, and the parts of Venice that are a little less touristy as well, which is nice. And let's look at the street view. So yeah, so this is right on Rose, like right across the street. You have this awesome coffee shop. Let's take a look here. It's called Flake. And then this is Rose Avenue, which is a busier street, but you're really in the hub of Venice in this property. So seeing that compared to the house is really interesting because side by side, the same exact price in Venice, but you're getting a very different kind of property, which is awesome. And I'm going to let's see what they went on the market at $995 and they sold it over asking for $1,050,000, which is awesome. So what this shows us is that if you are looking for On $1 million property here in Los Angeles, the neighborhoods are going to be very different. But what we've definitely learned is that you can find a single family residence here for $1 million, but there's going to be a trade-off. Maybe you don't get a backyard, maybe you're close to a freeway, maybe the condition isn't quite what you want it to be. You could also find a condo for about $1 million that is in immaculate condition as well. This is something that I get to work with my clients to help them learn and empower them to understand the market here. And I love to show them how far their money can go. If you like this video, please follow along for more insight on living in Los Angeles.